Jared and Ivanka have thousands of people in Albania taking to the streets to protest the luxury hotels they're developing there. That will be very tacky, I'm sure. Speaking of real estate developers, Trump just hired one to replace Tulsi Gabbard as the Director of National Intelligence. The guy has no qualifications for such a thing, but his dad was in the Epstein files, so... Also, a convicted January 6 rioter was hired into a high-security defense role. And then we have another congressman under investigation by the House Ethics Committee for sexual misconduct allegations. New Jersey is suing the company that operates Delaney Hall, and the Department of Agriculture has a bedbug infestation that no one can get rid of, and not the summer house kind. Let's get into it. Let's start with the pest problem, which is not even a metaphor. Yes, the bedbugs are real. And yes, multiple offices at the Department of Agriculture have been dealing with a persistent infestation. And now they have to go back to their true nightmare scenario: work from home. The bedbugs were reportedly found in the building where the Animal and Plant Inspection Service is headquartered, which is the agency responsible for containing the spread of invasive pests. I guess that is where it would start, but really inspires confidence in the competency situation there. Speaking of pests in the administration, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche confirmed yesterday that the DOJ is dropping its plans to start the Traitor Fund, which sounds great, right? The catch is that Blanche said this during a hearing with Congress yesterday, where he was not under oath, but he refused to put the statement in writing, saying that he, quote, didn't know what the purpose of putting it in writing would be. Now, Todd, if that were the case, you would just put it in writing, because it's not a big deal, right? It's also necessary to point out that Todd told Congress that even though they're dropping the Traitor Fund idea, allegedly, the part of the so-called agreement that created the fund, there was no agreement, they just did it. That agreement also protects Donald Trump and his family from IRS audits. And Todd Blanche says that that part will remain in effect, even if the Traitor Fund doesn't. I see now. That was the true purpose of this charade, or one among many. He also wants his followers to know that they will be rewarded. But with the IRS thing specifically, he just doesn't want to get caponed over his taxes. Would hate to go down that way. Also, Trump's lawsuit against the IRS, the one that started all of this, that he withdrew after coming to this bullshit agreement for the slush fund and the IRS immunity, that was actually revived by a federal judge in Miami last week, but not in the way Trump would want it to be. The judge ruled on Friday that she wants to investigate the deal to resolve the lawsuit, that agreement, and whether it was, quote, premised on deception. In other words, whether he invented the whole IRS lawsuit for the sake of reaching some outlandish and illegal agreement, such as this one. I didn't even know you could do that with lawsuits. Can we resurrect a few more? Speaking of Trump's rewards for January 6 defendants, the Trump administration just hired a convicted January 6 rioter to work for a Defense Department office that manages highly classified military operations. What could go wrong? The hiring of Elias Irizarry, who was 19 when he stormed the Capitol building, has reportedly alarmed his colleagues, who say that the team he was assigned to, that would be the Irregular Warfare and Counterterrorism Section, oversees one of the most sensitive portfolios, which includes embassy security, personnel recovery, and hostage rescue. This child is going to work on hostage negotiations. He doesn't even have a fully cooked prefrontal cortex on top of everything else. And somehow that is not even the most concerning Trump administration hire this week. Donald has chosen Tulsi Gabbard's replacement for the Director of National Intelligence, and it is his longtime family friend Bill Pulte, who was actually already working for the administration as the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. And in that role, he's been responsible for concocting mortgage fraud allegations against Letitia James and company. He's also apparently going to keep doing that role while he is the Director of National Intelligence. Does this guy have any government experience? Fuck no. But the president is avoiding any concerns about that might arise by calling him the acting Director of National Intelligence. He surely is acting, that's one thing. Because if he's only the acting Director of National Intelligence, that means that he can be in that role for a while without having to go to the trouble of getting confirmed by the Senate and answering a single question. Also, like I said, Bill Pulte's dad is in the Epstein files, where Epstein is writing out an extensive outline of how Donald Trump gets his money. And I believe he's talking about the mansion in Palm Beach that they fell out over. And he mentions how Pulte, Dad Pulte, was somehow able to appraise the mansion for a higher amount than its value, which was convenient because Jeffrey Epstein thought that the whole reason Donald Trump wanted that mansion in the first place was so that he could launder money for the Russian mob. That was back in 2004. So there's so much more here, but we are in the middle of a different podcast. We have a new development in the Delaney Hall detention center situation. New Jersey Attorney General Jennifer Davenport filed a lawsuit yesterday against Geo Group, the company that operates Delaney Hall, alleging inhumane and unsanitary conditions and demanding access for the New Jersey Department of Health to conduct inspections. For context, Geo Group has a $1 billion contract with the federal government through ICE, so I am sure that they could afford some disinfectant and a few pallets of cup of noodles if they so chose. Speaking of expensive contracts, the Kushners, Jared and Ivanka, are planning a $1.4 billion luxury hotel complex on an island off the coast of Albania, as well as another development on an ecologically sensitive part of that coast. And while the Prime Minister of Albania loves this idea and has been tweeting about how great it is for tourism, Albania has been all over my Explore page lately, the locals are less than enthused about it. And they have been protesting for a few days now, not just in the capital city of Tirana, but in small towns throughout the country, with no signs of stopping. Do we not have enough hotels yet? I feel like we do. And finally, another day, another congressman admits to cheating on his wife, but only after the New York Post blew his cover, and then he tried to deny it, but then he admitted it, and then CNN reported that the House Ethics Committee is investigating him for sexual misconduct allegations. The man is Democratic Representative Jimmy Gomez of California, who is chairman of Congress's Dad Caucus. I am so sick of this shit. Tomorrow, I will be back with primary results because California closed those polls after my New York bedtime. And also, whatever is going down with 60 Minutes. We might have to do 6 minutes for the short attention span generation. Until tomorrow, I'm Sammy Sage, and now you know what the fuck is going on. And make sure to follow Betches News on YouTube.